welcome everybody.
It's Friday.
It's Friday, baby.
Friday.
Hey, Dow, happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July to you too, TJ. God bless America, the Stars and Stripes, and God bless the USA.
God bless the USA, born in the USA. Welcome to episode 17 of the American Idiots Show. Oh, man, Dow.
Big time.
Dow, I got 4 days off, Dow.
You have
4 days off. What am I going to do with 4 days off?
I don't know. I don't think I'm taking Monday off.
Oh, I'm taking Monday off. I can't do it.
Yeah, I gotta bring home the bacon, TJ, and provide family. So no, I'm gonna hang out this weekend and put some time in on Monday, and then take a long day on Tuesday and relax. And
yeah, absolutely.
But also God bless Arsenal Football Club for making some signings.
There we go.
Now
look, Dallin, I know we got in a heated discussion.
We
got in a heated discussion on our transfer show a couple of days ago, and it's good that we are able to disagree with each other. I think because for the most part. But here's the thing. They finally did what we asked. They finally cut the checks. They finally spent the money that was required to get a player such as Declan Rice through the door. Was it an overpayment? Yes, it was. But at the same time, when West Ham asks you that for that much money for their legend, you got to pay it. You got to pay the troll toll, right? As they say. So I don't know, man. It's one of those things where I'm just so happy to see that we're actually moving like a big club now. I know it's a lot of money to spend. I know, but it's not my money. As our friend Lee says, it's not our money.
Very true. It's not our money. And Northside hit it on the head the other day. 100 million. We're now up with the big boys. At least it puts us in another, a little bit of another level or stratosphere that, hey, we're willing to compete now with Man City and Liverpool, the Chelseas, the Uniteds, etc. Into that, here we go, 9-digit, number. 100 million for one player. Think of 100 million could do, let alone you could buy how many small clubs with that amount of money. But hey, I'm willing to see Declan Rice in a midfield three with, I guess, Havertz on the left, Odegaard on the right. We've heard a lot about Havertz, but I want to think that the glass is half full on him. He was at Chelsea when he was 20, 21 years old. He's 3 or 4 years older now. He's got some experience. I hope we don't play him as a striker because I don't think that's where he's going to be the most efficient, obviously. It didn't work at Chelsea. But Chelsea have been, a kind of a joke for the last 3 or 4 years, to be honest. They don't, they can't get their managers straight. And they finally got a very good manager in Pochettino. And he looks like Havertz isn't in his plan. So, here we go. And I know Wenger was after him in 2017. But again, he's here. He's signed. And we can get behind him. But I'm going to be really watching him closely this season to see what he does. And if he doesn't cut the mustard, man, we need to make changes in January.
I agree with you. So guys, here's how the format of this show is going to work. So Connor is gone. Jez is in London. He texted me and said he was like right across the street from Highbury. So I was asking him to send me photos. But yeah, the two residents are gone. So you get me and Dal, and Kyle will be joining us a little bit later for our movie segment. Okay, we're gonna have a movie segment. We can't always talk about transfers, can we, Dal?
No, because what hasn't really been said and discussed in the last 48 hours that
on every stream,
none of our beautiful people in the chat haven't heard, right? Like you haven't heard, I haven't heard. So we know we've got Kyle Havertz. We got Urian Timber. Looks like signing the team today or tomorrow. Yep. Rice is going to probably. I'll bet they'll unveil him hopefully on Monday or Tuesday. So it's, to me, the window, if all three go through, which it looks like it's going to be, is a pretty damn good 8 out of 10. And again, there's not a lot we haven't said or haven't heard, and a lot of our beautiful people in the chat haven't heard either. So with transfers, let's go see who's next, because I don't want Pablo Vieira in an Arsenal shirt next season.
Loan him out.
I want him out or loaned out. I kind of want him out, sold. So I think there's room for another midfielder, but we'll get into that, I'm sure, in the next 3 or 4 weeks, I hope.
Oh my God. Let me pull up this comment from Carl Rossi. What song was I playing when I met you backstage?
That song.
Cheers, Carl Rossi.
Cheers, my
Happy
man.
4th of July, everybody. Happy 4th of July.
Let's see what the chat says. Let's interact with some of these leads and tunes and
we got tunes, we got Leeds fans, we got Carl Rossi, we got Arsenal Forever. Smash the likes up, everybody. We are 2 subs away from 350, and you know what? I might strap myself to the tree, Dal and Natalie, until I get 2 more subs. I might do it. Actually, I might not have time to do it, but we'll see.
You should strap yourself to a tree, put an apple on your head, and have your wife shoot arrows at it.
I don't. I trust my wife a lot of things, but not that. I'm not going to lie to you.
You're not that brave, huh?
No, I'm not that brave. I have a question about Kai Havertz. I have a question.
Okay.
We'll get into the chat, and maybe the chat can help me out with this, okay?
Hopefully.
So when we signed Havertz, I went off. I was losing my mind about where we actually play this guy, right? Do you think he fits in to where Xhaka used to play, or is he are we bringing him off the bench to back up Odegaard in critical moments or back up Jesus in critical moments?
I think his versatility will provide both.
Oh, God.
I think he is in the starting 11, though, and I do think he replaces Xhaka, which is people are going to slam me with this. It's definitely an upgrade.
On Xhaka?
Yes.
Okay.
Not from last season.
Okay.
Last season, we can all agree, last season was the best season he had in an Arsenal shirt. No doubt. So with the Rice deal going through, the wheels have now been set in motion for, I think, all the transfers to open up in the next 2 or 3 weeks, right? We were waiting on Rice. We were waiting on Mount, and those 2 have happened. And so everything else is going to open up. But Chelsea have also unloaded 6 players as well. We can talk about that maybe next week or something.
Yeah.
However, Havertz does fit in the system because I think he's a better Granit Xhaka at doing Granit Xhaka things. Now, meaning Granit Xhaka does vertical, passes the ball backwards, passes it laterally, won't run up in the box. I'm talking about the old Xhaka, right?
Yeah.
Kai Havertz will not do that. Kai Havertz will get in the box. There was a video floating around from, I think, some publication where some guy's talking about how he has a bad scoring record at Chelsea, but everything else, his timing in the box, his passes within the final third, etc., are absolutely brilliant. So as a good squad player, I think we could have done a lot worse. And that's what I mean. I think we haven't seen the best of him. Because at 20 years old, you still don't know what that footballer is going to do. And you keep playing him in multiple positions. He's confused. The team's confused. Fuck, the manager, Graham Potter, was confused for Jesus Christ. He was confused the day he got the job.
Right. No, you're absolutely right.
So you got to put some of that blame off of Havertz, being a 20-year-old kid with a shit manager who doesn't know what to do, how to play him, never heard of him, not knowing he's like a young German international superstar. Some are saying the next Ozil, whatever. But the fact of the matter is Chelsea didn't know what to do with him. They started using him thinking he could score goals. Obviously, that didn't work out. But he scores the one goal they needed 2 years ago in the Champions League. You can't, right, TJ? This is football. And you guys know in the chat, you can't make this shit up, right? Havertz has a shit season, and he scores the fucking winner in a Champions League final. Who would have wrote that, right? So I think overall, to answer your question, to land the plane, it's a massive upgrade from Granit Xhaka, even though Xhaka did have a good season. We still need a striker. Absolutely. Jonathan David, come on in, bro.
Yeah, come on over. Bring your maple syrup, Jonathan David. Bring it all the way from Canada.
Done with Eddie Nketiah. He has to go. If we bring Havertz in as a second striker, I'm not so sure. I think if that's the case, we change into a 4-4-2 formation and we just press Jesus and Havertz up the pitch. Yeah. Because if we're in a 4-3-3, it's not going to work. Jesus going as a striker because there's no support.
Is Jesus a good enough finisher?
In the box, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, I know, because I was just like, there were times at the tail end of last season where he couldn't finish anything.
Yeah, I still think we should have, when he came back, we should have still given Trossard 3 or 4 games in a row and then bring Jesus in the latter end of the season. Maybe right before the Newcastle game would have been nice, because we went on a roll of 6 wins with Trossard up front, and this is the whole debate. Like Kyle said, you've said, I mean, what the hell are we talking about?
Yeah, they were talking. Northside was talking about that yesterday when Fuad, big up Prince Fuad, but he got absolutely rinsed on that podcast. He was big him up. I love him to death. It was probably one of the most entertaining shows I've ever seen. But Eddie Nketiah is dead. Get him out now. And we were cooking with Trossard and Martinelli rotating in and out of that 9 spot, right? So I really want to see more of that. Like I want to see Mikel Arteta be more willing to make changes like that if something isn't working, and making those changes quickly. Like so say Jesus isn't working out, right? Then rotate him to the left, and then rotate Trossard or Martinelli into that position,
right?
Or Havertz. I want to see that out of Mikel Arteta. I want to see him be more malleable to trying new things if certain things aren't working. Because a lot of what's the definition of insanity, right?
Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Exactly. And we saw that last season. Season. So, but when he made those changes, when Nketiah finally was like, I don't know if Nketiah was just injured or Arteta was finally done with him, but when we made that crucial change and started rotating Martinelli and Trossard in and out of that position, we were cooking for 5 games.
We won 6 games in a row.
Yeah.
Off the Man City loss.
Yeah, it's nuts. So yeah. Let's answer some points, some questions.
Sure.
Dave Riley, big up Dave Riley. Dave Riley has been following this channel for a long time. Big up, Dave. Thank you so much. TJ, are you happy Rice looks to be an Arsenal player? Yes, I am. I am extremely happy. We were saying at the beginning of the stream that we held 2 days ago that it might be an overpay, which I think goes down to English tax, but I'm glad we paid the money. Dal and I had a little bit of a debate on this. I wouldn't say an argument, a debate around whether or not it was worth it. I think it was. The fact that West Ham came in and said, this is how much we are willing to let go our legend for. And we played with them for 3 weeks. And then there was the saga of Man City coming in, and everybody was like, well, we just lost them to Man City. Because Man City were going to, threw in a cheeky $90 million or 90 million pound sterling, whatever bid, right? So, it's one of those things where the asking price was always 100 million. So I don't understand why we have to go through the rigmarole of bullshit. And I know, and we're reining back the language here, but the rigmarole of BS that we had to go through to get this done, where it wasn't necessary. We always knew what the deal was.
Well, Connor and Jaminho called it from day one.
Yep.
Well, their thought was that the Rice deal wasn't going to get done until the end of August. And luckily that turned out not to be the truth. But you're absolutely right.
The way Edu goes about business.
Oh, so no. But some of this isn't new to myself and to many other people in the chat. And even I know you, TJ. I've following the club now for 23, 24 years. Right. We've always played this game of not letting the opposition know who we're looking at signing. When everybody knows who we're looking at signing, BBC Sport puts it all over the news, cable news, etc. The Sun, all the papers back in England, they know who our targets are. Like the leaks get out. So it used to be funny when Wenger used to say, well, I can't, disclose that information on signings. And then the next day we would sign the same person we talked about signing a week ago. Right. So, this whole playing cloak and dagger with the signings is bullshit, especially now in the internet age and so forth. But with regards to just, signing someone like Rice and paying that money, what it does is it puts us in that level. Right. It puts us up in that level that we can spend 9 digits on a player, that we have the capability and the financial backup to do that. And that at least that it's good to know that the Cronkies probably are able to recognize that as well. So this could have been a cash injection, right? Or like Jez has said, that you can look at the coffers. It's online. It's available to the public. Maybe the money was already there in the coffers. Or like I said, it could have been an immediate cash injection by the Cronkies, which I would like to believe is even a better story, right? That, hey, we need this player. Josh Kroenke calls dad calls his assistant, bam, there's the money, right? So, but but besides that, it puts us again in a level to let the world of football know that we can compete in that 9-digit budget category. We can look at $100 million players, but I still think we're going to be very selective on who they are. Obviously, we're not just going to sign Tom, Dick, and Harry for $300 million, right? So we got to really look at, see the valuation of these, but it just puts us in a category that I'm really happy for. I'm glad that we're breaking the British transfer record, that it's us. As long as the money's there and it's not my money, spend it.
No, I agree. I think that he is a player of quality that is worth taking that risk on, to be honest.
Yeah.
Finally, yeah. And this is Carl Rossi. You are 100% correct here. He says that I do agree with 100%. Us spending under mil shows us muscle for change. I agree with both you and Dow. We are showing some intent here. Intent. We want to compete. This is what our friend Lee said. This is what we smashed Highbury down for.
Right.
We are now competing with the big dogs in terms of getting transfers over the line. Okay, that is a big thing. And I go out of my way not to take too many of Lee's lines because he's an absolute legend.
Right.
But at the same time, I can't agree more. I couldn't agree more.
It's the same thought process that you're on. I'm on. Many people that we're involved with in our community are on, in the chat, obviously, and so forth. You've got to critically be able to think about things. And going with the Arsenal AFTV bullshit narrative, what's that really gotten us? Nowhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Juminho,
there's two sides to the coin, man.
Juminho, you're killing me. This is a little bit of a biased comment, I think.
Well, Arsenal, he knows the club very well. and he knows that at any time, he's got a very good point. If Man City come calling, or Real Madrid, who do have a history of buying English players, obviously, if he super performs and gets us to a Champions League semifinal, and Real Madrid or Barcelona come calling, he's going to go.
Yep.
Martinelli will go. Odegaard will go. Jesus will definitely go if we reach the higher echelons of European competition. One season, the next season, he's going to be sought after by top clubs. And to me, the real only top clubs right now in the world are, Man City, Madrid, obviously Barcelona. Who else really? You put Inter Milan in there? Maybe. Bayern Munich. Right? There's only 4 or 5 powerhouse clubs. Chelsea,
I want everybody to answer.
They're kind of in a rebuild.
Yeah, exactly. We got 13 inside. Make sure you're smashing the like sub. Make sure you're subbing if you're new, everybody. I am 2 away from 350. I am now tied to this chair, and I cannot get up until we get 350. I'm just kidding. But I did want to get the chat's answer. Chat, help me out with this question. Lenny, big up Lenny. Let's answer this question. Let's answer this question. Do you both reckon Rice should be captain? Do you want me to answer this first, or do you want to answer this first?
Yeah, man. Let's take a swing.
Yes. Yes, I do. Martin Odegaard is not the captain that this club needs. The captain of Arsenal Football Club needs to be vocal, needs to be a imposing force, needs to lead not only by example, but by his direction of players on the field. And you saw that at West Ham. He was a field general at West Ham, and now he is in charge of one of the top 6 clubs in English football. Okay, that is not West Ham United. Okay, respect West Ham for what they did. They won the Conference League. Great job. But now we are putting players around Declan Rice that can really make him thrive. I would give him the armband right away. Let's see what this guy can do with it. Let's show some intent. He is a potential world-class player. Okay? I don't think Martin Odegaard should have been the captain in the first place, because I really think he was captain in name only because he was a good PR move as a captain.
Well, he is the captain of the Norwegian team as well.
Yeah, but
Well, I mean that, but that But that's credentials, right? I'm just saying that's credentials.
Agreed. And you know what? People, I would love to be proven wrong. If people want to mud me in the chat, totally fine.
Well, Jaminho definitely doesn't agree with you.
Jaminho is Jaminho. Like, but
yeah, he's got good reasons.
Yeah, Arsenal forever agrees with me.
Right.
So
right. And so I guess my point is, I would say no, because I would want Kieran Tierney to be the captain, but he also needs to be in the team. So if Arteta says, if Arteta suddenly has this, epiphany that, Zinchenko really, he can't defend, and really is, he's really a midfielder, maybe I'll just sit him on the bench and actually have a real left back, and decides to give Tierney time and makes him a staple in the team, I think you should go to Kieran Tierney above anyone else. And then second one, I maybe think Gabriel, and then maybe Rice. I think they should do Rice as a co-captain, possibly the first season. I don't know if I would. And do you really strip Odegaard? I mean, when we see Arteta obviously sees differently, right? Right. He may see that Odegaard, is a captain. Shit, we got second place.
Maybe
right? I mean, we see it differently. But I think he'll be captain next season. I don't think it'll be Rice.
Can I ask an American idiot question? Like, this is actually me being an idiot. So in hockey, right? They can switch. They tend to switch who wears alternate captain letters based on whether they're home or away. Can they do that with an captain's armband, or does it really matter?
The chat would probably know more about that. I think they can change to whatever they want, but I think that there's there's responsibility with being a captain. I think that's really kind of decided at the beginning of every season. And if there's a change, I think that's a real major shakeup. Right. And I think like Jaminho or Rams and even Yeti and Carl could maybe give us some more insight to that for sure. But I don't know, TJ. I think, they obviously have vice captains, and it changes on the pitch, whoever gets subbed off. And part of football is you don't want to sub off your captain. You want him to finish the game. Mm-hmm. Right, because he's leading the boys out. So that's a really good question, and I'm not 100% sure of that. Yeah. Rice should be captain. Odegaard's good captain. And should be captain, right? I think it goes to Kieran Tierney, and then Gabriel would be my second. But Gabriel may not be a leader in Arteta's eyes, which he may not be out there. I think he is out there on the pitch, but Saliba maybe. But I think Saliba's a little too quiet. Right. So my vote would go to Tierney, but I think Rice would definitely be a shout in line for that. He'd definitely be ahead of, Gabriel or Ben White or somebody.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing: is there's a couple of potential captains in this club. Okay, but I don't think I just don't think Odegaard is the only one that should be considered. That's all I'm saying. Tierney, I think Tierney should be captain 100% too, Jaminho, if he saw the field. But Zinchenko is in his position. He's never going to see the field. And this is why I'm kind of shocked that you have seen nothing about Kieran Tierney in transfer rumors. Nothing. Or at least I haven't. And I've been keeping my ear to the ground.
Well, I thought something came out that Arteta said he's part of the squad and he was not going to sell him. So if he's not, I swear I read that a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And we haven't heard much movement on Kieran Tierney, by the way. Speaking of him, we haven't heard any bids from Newcastle, nothing from Real Madrid, which I think would be bizarre, but I don't see that fitting at all. But if I'm Carl,
big up, Carl.
You made me blush.
Yeah, you just made.
I've been a married man, my buddy, for almost 18 years to a woman. But you are damn kind, sir.
Yes.
I'm going to keep that in my memory. Send me a card. By the way, this went off track real quick. Thank you. His drunkenness.
Love it.
Just lifted his third straight Premier title. Yeah, you fucking did in FIFA world, bro. I know. But the thing is like Kieran, I know. And he's not going to play Kieran Tierney. Let's be realistic. He's going to go with Zinchenko. We're going to do the same inverted midfield shit. That did get us essentially to second place. I mean, that's the Zinchenko dilemma. Do you not play him? And what happens, right? Because he was really good for most of that, especially the first half of the season with what he was doing, even though we didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just in hindsight now, it's kind of like I can see where Arteta's going. Do you mix it up too much? I want to see what happens at right back. I want to see if we're going to really do with a 3-4-3 formation. Just straight up do that.
I've seen 3-5-2 too as a rumor.
That's a clogged midfield, man.
Yeah, I don't know, and I'm really not like
each other.
I'm not a fan of wingbacks to begin with. So
yeah, I'm a 4-2-3-1 guy or 4-3-3. Or 4-4-2, but defensively like 4-4-2, and that's going to be, I think, what we're going to probably see a lot of is, especially with Kai Havertz not being the best defender. What's our formation going to be when we're under the cosh? When there's a counterattack or something, do we go into a 4-4-2? Do we just kind of keep the Saka and Martinelli out wide and not come in to help defend? I think Martinelli, if Kai Havertz is a left midfielder, Martinelli's our winger, he's going to have to help defend because Kai Havertz can't even tie his own shoe when he's in defense. Exactly. And that's the other worry, too, that I think a lot of people have with him even joining the squad. What does that bring defensively? Because defensively, we're still weak. We gave up how many goals at the end of the last few games? Besides the Newcastle game, I think we got scored on in every game.
Yeah, we were sinking.
Yeah, and so that's either tired legs and missing Saliba, but and Kiwior, what role is he going to play with Timber coming in? So I know I'm opening up a lot of can of worms and questions.
No, there's plenty of discussion to be had on it, and big up Latimus Prime, big up. You need to set a captain during the season. How the captaincy can be changed. For example, if you seasons ago, I'm assuming that's David De Gea was stripped of the United captaincy midseason. It was given to Maguire. Right. Yeah, I mean, yes. But I also agree with what to a point where with what long-haired Yeti said. Earn it in the preseason. Yes. Okay. I want to see. Well said. You know what? I retract that. So let's say if Rice shows the rocks to do it, right?
Yeah.
Give it to him, or split it if you can. I don't know. And I know football is different from hockey. Like there are certain egos involved. I get it.
And traditions and heritage.
Exactly.
Right.
And there's a lot of pageantry involved that me as an American.
Right. Pageantry. Right.
Doesn't always recognize. So It is what it is. Yeah, no. And that was a great question, everybody. You guys are killing it with the questions. We got 15 inside. Make sure you're smashing a like. It's free. It's free.
Yeah, thanks for free, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Happy Friday to each and every one.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Big shout out to Chris Rolls. Welcome, bro.
Welcome, Chris. Make sure you're smashing a like, smashing a sub if you're new, my man. Thanks for coming in. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Keep going.
I think it'd be really hard, TJ, to strip Odegaard of the captaincy. I mean, like I said, Arteta's going to look at that and say, what did he really do wrong? I mean, he's not going to be perfect, right? Nobody is.
Yeah, and
he's not my captain. I know he's not a lot of the people in chat's captain, but in Arteta's eyes, he captained our club to second place last season. So
yeah.
I think it'd be really harsh in Arteta's eyes. It's going to be really harsh to pull that from him when he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, I know it's not going to happen. I know.
Right. Okay.
I'm living in fantasy land.
Like, you live in FIFA land, bro.
I get it. Oh, FIFA land, yeah, where I can just go into the positional players and just give them the armband.
You can make Tommy Asso up to an 88 and make him the captain. Shit, you can do whatever you want in FIFA world.
100%. Speaking of FIFA world, by the way, we are doing me and Connor are continuing our co-op season streams on Sunday, by the way. So keep your eyes out for that. We are one win away from winning Division 5. We are bringing the silverware to Arsenal, people. We are bringing it in. So don't worry about that. We're going to conquer Division 4 immediately after that. So just keep an eye out, hit that notification bell, and watch the scenes. It was absolute scenes. The first stream we did, we came back and won. Somebody almost came back and won on us. It was absolute scenes. So absolutely come in and watch those. Those are a lot of fun. We're getting a lot of really, really good questions. And Carl, I couldn't think of a better evening either. Good evening, everybody. Good evening.
Sexy motherfucker.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, Latimus. You're right. Okay, I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and retract. That's a good point.
It would make Odegaard cry, TJ. Think about it. He's pretty sensitive.
He's pretty sensitive.
He's playing with his Backstreet Boy hair.
He starts getting real. Yeah. He starts singing North London Forever, and I get it. I get it.
Singing Backstreet Boy songs.
How do you see North London Forever in Norwegian? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. I think we should have long-haired Yeti give us an example, though.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Remember that. He's under his breath, Captain for life. Okay. Well, I wouldn't go that far. Here we go. I know.
Rice hasn't even earned the right to be born under Juninho.
I know. I get it. Okay, guys. So let's keep talking about it. I had another question. What do you make of the Timber signing? It sounds like it's over the line. What are you thinking of it? We really did this on our last stream.
Yeah, we didn't talk too much about him, did we? Because we know he's so good because of the amount of Dutch football that I watch on a consistent basis. No, he's good. I mean, I know United were after him last season. I believe the season before too. Maybe it's just last season. So it makes me feel good to pip those bastards to a signing that they wanted really bad. And I've seen some highlight videos and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we can't really tell, right, until he kicks the ball. But I think it's a good signing. I know he has a twin brother named Quentin. That's supposed to be an absolute center mid maestro. So maybe that's the center mid we bring in and can loan Fabio Vieira out for him. That'd be awesome, but that's not going to happen. I don't know. I think it's a good signing. I've seen some YouTube stuff. I haven't really,
I know him from FUT. I know him from FIFA Ultimate Team.
Oh, okay. I know. Yeah, from FIFA,
my
Eredivisie. 5 million bid for him, and FIFA got turned down. So that must be pretty good if he's worth that much in FIFA. But I'm excited for it. I think there's some attributes there that I've read about and sort of YouTube and so forth that he's going to be better than Ben White. He can overlap. He can get a cross in. He can actually defend, but I know that that's still kind of shaky. Right. But I think that is for any young back, right or left back. If you want to attack but you can't all the time, it's a tough position. I don't think he's going to come in as center back. At least I'm hoping not. I think we have that pretty much filled out with Gabriel Saliba and Kiwior. I hope Rob Holding absolutely gets the bus out. I can't believe he's still here.
Dal, he's going back to where he got his hairline from. He's going back to Turkey. Okay.
Is he going to Besiktas?
That's the rumor. That's the rumor.
He got his hair work done there?
Yeah, that's where he got like Turkish plugins. Yeah. You can do it.
There's hope.
There's hope for all of us now. Right drugs.
So, right. So, right. If Rob Holding can play at Arsenal, there's fucking hope for all of us. And anything right. Mr. I'm just happy to be here. It just boils my blood because, we've had a chance to let him go. Yeah, it's shameless the way we've treated him. We've really fucked his career, to be honest, if you think about it. Because he could have been at championship level competing, you know what I mean? He hasn't competed at Arsenal at all, except for the one goal he scored against City that Real Madrid couldn't do, and all those other clubs, right? Is there an Instagram of him, of all these players that couldn't score against City, and it was just him? Like Vinicius Jr. couldn't. This player couldn't.
No, I agree with you. 100%.
He's dead.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Latimus. You don't really need to wear an armband to be a leader. I mean, you see that with Gabriel, in my opinion. You see that with Ramsdale at certain points. You see that with Zinchenko, even though I think he's 75% a passion merchant, but it is what it is. I know absolutely nothing about Timber. I failed word work in secondary school. They didn't let me anywhere near that saw. I'll tell you that for free. They didn't let me anywhere near it.
That was the 7th grade. I had woodshop class, and I made this bookshelf that was all kind of crooked and unfinished. And there was this other kid, I think his name was Andy. He made this bookshelf. I think he sold it for like $700. Like it was like a work of fucking art. Like this guy literally put blood, sweat, and tears in the thing. In 7th grade, I'll never forget it.
Big up,
just like, yeah, it is. No, it ain't for me.
No, I was anything having to do like with hands, man. I suck at working with my hands.
Terrible. A bandsaw. Yeah, I need that in life.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we got a couple of good questions. Dave, you're coming with the really good questions. I highlighted this one.
Hit it, Dave.
Is the club trying to sell Party? And if they are, what's your opinion on this? Dal, take this one, please.
I think they're actively looking for buyers, but I don't think they're actively selling, if that makes sense. I think they're waiting to see what the market does with him. But I would not sell him for this season because I think this season is a very definitive season in Arsenal Football Club. We've proved that we can get second. We have to push on. He was a huge part of that. If anything, you bring him on as a sub.
I agree.
No, I think we keep him for maybe one more season. But if we get a good price for him, and I don't mean some bullshit 20 million price tag. If we get a 40 million price tag, I think he's worth about 35, 40 mil. I honestly do. He's a freaking fantastic defensive mid, one of the best in the Prem, if not probably the top 10 right in the world. Definitely not, maybe not top 5, but we got to get a 35 million, 40 million price tag for him if he does go. But other than that, he comes off the bench for me and we keep him.
No, I agree. I agree with you 100%. I'm just hoping that,
Rice is definitely going to start.
What?
Rice is definitely going to start.
Yeah,
that's a given.
Anybody was saying like, "Oh yeah, Party's going to stay in there." No, he's not. He's not.
No,
he's out.
But if I see Party at right back, I will absolutely take a shotgun to my computer and television and blow it to smithereens because putting Thomas Party at right back is like the Antichrist. Like who but Arteta would think of some bullshit like that, TJ? I mean,
because he wanted it to happen.
Yeti wanted it to happen.
Yeah, Yeti benefited directly from that.
Of course he did because he is a real striker.
All right,
Juminho squad.
Exactly. Juminho, yes. Sunday evening actually it's Monday morning if you think about it now. Monday morning, midnight UK time, Sunday going into Monday. I will be doing a watch along with Tottenham Away's Will Stewart. We are going to be watching the USA versus Trinidad and Tobago, the third game of the group stage. We just beat St. Kitts and Nevis 6-0. They're a real powerhouse squad.
Faroe Islands level, huh?
Yeah, they're pretty hard to beat. So we beat them 6-0. So don't worry about that. USA has nothing to worry about. But yes, I will be doing a late night UK stream with Will Stewart. Make sure you're subbing to Tottenham Away and 365. He's an incredible guy, really, really nice guy. So, and he supports this channel, by the way. He wanted to come on last week, but he had some work stuff that called him away. So, come and hang out with us. Let's go. I'll also be doing women's. This is a women's shirt, by the way, because they actually win things. We will be doing Women's World Cup streams as well when I'm not doing theater stuff. So yeah, there we go.
So TJ, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What kind of form do you think Saka is going to be in at the beginning of the season?
I think he'll be firing, and here's why. There's been a lot of pressure on him. Well, let me start over. So he had a great game. I don't remember who were they playing when they just skunked him 6-0.
It was Moldova.
Yeah, Moldova. Yeah, some dead team like that has like 500,000 people in their country. But that being said, yes, he's here. Yes.
Hey.
Big up Kyle Washgunner.
Volcanoes in the building.
Let me answer this question.
How are you, Smile?
We're well.
Doing great, bro.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to the movie segment here in a second. But
brilliant.
Maybe you can help answer this question too, Kyle. I think that Saka is getting rest for the first time in months now. And having that performance that he was, yes, it was a dead team, but still getting 3 international goals, heading into a preseason where I hope he doesn't play that much. I hope they're gonna maybe play him for a half or so against MLS just to show the American fans that you give a shit, and play him against United in Barcelona when they're here. But then after that, rest him. Do not risk him into the season, and make sure that he stays warm. I think he'll come out firing. I honestly do. And he's not unaware of the fact that he's finished last season off form. He's not unaware of that. Right. So I think he's going to come out firing. I'm not going to lie. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm hoping he comes out firing. I don't want to see him much in preseason either. I'm just curious if he can, he'll rebound from last season. I'm hoping that he comes out firing too. So we were just talking about hoping Saka comes off good, Kyle, at the beginning of the season and doesn't have a hangover from last season and can actually, show us what he's really made of.
But Saka has to come out and he has to start. He has to start off top class. But what I have to say about the Saka situation is, there's no point going for half a season and then disappearing at the second half of the season. When it matters, I want these players to come out when it matters, not coming out when it suits them.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Saka at the back end of the season. If we're fighting to win the Premier League, and let me tell you, with all this money that we're spending and getting these players, if we don't win the Premier League next season, I want Arteta gone. No excuse. There's no excuse this season.
Right. Especially when we got our $100 million man.
Yep. No, there is no excuse. And somebody asked us during our transfer show last week, Kyle, like, okay, so now we have 300 million now. 300 million now. There's no excuse. There's no excuse now. Even for a guy like me who has been like, compared to a lot of our other friends, okay, like light on Mikel Arteta. Now you got to perform results. You got to get me a trophy this season, or you're gone, man.
There's no excuse, Jeff.
Yep.
I'm not talking about FA Cups here, Randy. I'm talking about the Premier League or the Champions League has to come to the Emirates next season. If not, out.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
His fifth season, right? And if we don't get anything, even if we get, there's nothing keeping us back now, Kyle. There's nothing holding us back. The only thing I see holding us back is we lose points to clubs, like Brighton and who else got promoted, Blackburn or whoever the hell ever, right? We still have to win those games on a rainy Monday night.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we have all of the pieces for that puzzle, mate.
Yeah. The first thing they have to do now is give Declan Rice the armband and be the captain of the club. That's the first thing they have to do.
Ooh.
Did you? How long have you been listening, Kyle? Have you been listening to the stream?
No.
Okay, we talked about this, but I want to get your opinion. So go.
Yeah.
Tell us why Declan Rice gets the armband.
Yep.
Just take the armband. I'm with the woman here. We had a Chinese there, and I said to her that I was jumping on the show about films there for a few minutes, so she understands, I suppose. But
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about that next.
I threw a bottle of wine in on top of it, just to soften the blow.
There we go.
But what I was going to say to you, no, take the armband off Odegaard, give the Declan Rice. Very simple decision in my eyes, because Odegaard is not a captain. We wanted a Champions League position 2 years ago. Odegaard was the captain. What did he do? Failed. We went to win the Premier League last season. What did he do? Failed. Give the armband to a real captain, which is Declan Rice, and he's possibly, since Vieira and Gilberto Silva, he's probably the best candidate of a captaincy since the two of them. Because we've had nothing but losing mentality players with the captain band since then. Someone put up a joke the other day about who's the worst captain, Xhaka or Gallas. And I said about Gallas, and someone said to me, Xhaka disrespected the club and blah, blah, blah. Man's entitled to his opinion. But in my opinion, the two were an absolute disgrace to the football club. We went out there against Birmingham, walking away with the Premier League. Things didn't go according to plan. Eduardo got a bad injury, and fair play to that, but Gallas, the captain, he's sitting on the ground, he's crying. And he's looking at me. And we blew the league title. These lads are clowns.
Yeah.
Bring Declan Rice in, give him the captaincy from day one, end of story.
Well,
man, your boy Juminho is probably like punching his keyboard right now, like your fellow Irish brethren. So you don't care that he defected from the Irish team and went to England?
Absolute disgrace. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a Declan Rice fan. But he's an upgrade on what we have in that midfield. And he is a better captain quality, more so than what Odegaard is.
Yeah. But
all I ever see Odegaard doing is flicking his hair to the side.
Backstreet Boy, looking like a Backstreet Boy.
Yeah.
Take that.
So So that's where I am, lads. And I tell you, I'm not punching. I'm not holding back this season. I'm all out this season. I want number one. No excuses.
All right.
But,
No excuses.
Right. But Arteta's not going to strip Odegaard.
I know, but it's fun to talk about.
I want Kieran Tierney, Kyle. I want Kieran Tierney to get the game time and get the armband. That's who my captain is. And then second in line, I would probably think
But he's
Gabriel.
never going to get a sniff.
But I don't think you're going to give – you're going. I mean, because I think what we were saying earlier before you joined was that in our eyes, yeah, Odegaard is a big, like kind of a wimp with his take that hair and his kind of whining and minging, But at the same time, Arteta doesn't really see it that way probably. He sees it that we got to second place with this young captain. So am I really going to destroy this kid's confidence and just rip it out of him to give to a big money signing? And that was what someone said in the chat as well. How that's going to absolutely obliterate Odegaard.
Right.
And I know we don't really, our community doesn't really rate him as a captain. And we do rate him as a goal scorer, but not, he disappears in games. But do you really just destroy this kid and give it to a big name signing?
I suppose you're raising one way because he does shit on himself when things go against him. When we're 8 games to go there, and he's the captain leading the captaincy, leading the team out, he failed. The pressure is on the man, he crumbles. So if you took the captaincy off him, he probably crumbled as well. So I don't know. I don't know. In my opinion, anyway, with Odegaard as captain, we're winning absolutely jack shit.
Right. No, I totally get your point. And maybe it's just that maybe there's another side effect too, Kyle, that you're getting at is that, hey, we can't have this Arsenal cuddliness and we love everyone feeling anymore at the club that we've had for decades now, So maybe ripping Odegaard of the captaincy could be a bit of an eye opener for him to maybe his performances will be better, right? Maybe it's a blessing. It would be a blessing in disguise. So there is the other side of the coin for that. But I just don't see Arteta doing that. I don't think he's going to look at him and say, "Oh, it's your fault we got second, or your fault for this performance," and kill the boy's confidence. But again, my thought would be Tierney if he was in the team more, but he's not.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting times ahead, lads.
Yeah, interesting times for sure, and there's going to be plenty of time to talk about it too, because
a very important season in the history of Arsenal Football Club coming up.
Absolutely.
Because this is really going to separate us from mice from men. We've spent the money now. We've pushed up to that upper 100 million level, and now we have to back it up. Yeah. And if we finish 4th or 5th, it's going to be a mess. If we don't finish first, it's going to be a massive disappointment. If we finish second, only 2 or 3 points behind, disappointment. But if we finish 3rd or 4th, it's a massive disappointment.
Agreed. 100%.
Number one. Number one. Simple.
Yep.
All right, guys, I'm going to switch gears. We advertised in the thumbnail that we are going to talk about films. So we have 12 inside. Stick around, everybody. Just because we're not talking about football doesn't mean we don't love football, okay? But we got to talk about something else here. Otherwise, I'm going to go crazy. So one of my passions is films, okay? We love films. This is Connor's idea, but he wasn't able to make it today, so he's going to watch this on playback. But we are discussing our favorite top 5 films. Okay, so put your top 5 films in the chat. Okay, and if we agree, disagree, you want to mud my opinion, you want to mud Dal's opinion, you want to mud Kyle's opinion. But Kyle, do you want to give the chat like a little bit of a background around why we wanted you involved in this discussion?
Yeah, but first of all, TJ. I was like, say, big up to the two of you for having me on the show, lads. These are legends.
Yeah, no, absolutely, anytime.
And everyone in the chat. And I'd like to say, I wanted to talk to you, TJ, before. I was always wanting to get back, but life is so busy for everyone. I see that you're involved with musicals and stuff like that. So I wanted to teacher and all. So I wanted to talk about that. And I'll give you a shout privately about all that. Yeah,
I'm happy to talk about it on here or privately or anytime. I talk about it all the time. So.
Perfect, because my backstory is I am what you could call a huge film fan since the age of 4 and 5.
Mhm.
And the first films I started to watch was the old Hammer horror films, Dracula, Frankenstein, all that kind of stuff. And my dad and mom can remember me as a child, not just watching the film, but I wanted to know what a director was. I wanted to know what cinematography was. I wanted to know all this kind of stuff. And I'm going to turn the phone this way so I can see stuff because I'm stone blind. But so basically, I was huge into the films. So in my lifetime, I'm very lucky. I became a film critic. So my background is I'm a film critic. I write for the papers. I do reviews. I've interviewed a few actors. I've spoken to a few actors about films. So I've been very lucky in my life. So films is massively important to me all my life. So that's my backstory. And when you said about the top 5, TJ, I said I have to hop on for that.
Yes.
I said to the boss, the woman, just give me 25 minutes love to talk about films, so she understands my passion for the film. So she said, "You work away."
All right. So
TJ, I'm gonna have to do a lot of groveling now later on, son.
All right. Well, no. So since you have a keen eye, right? Big up, Steve. Big up, Steve. We just hit 20 likes. Everybody. Make sure you're smashing them up. All right, guys. Steve, thank you for joining. Now, Kyle, I need to know top 5 films in your opinion. The film critic, give it to us.
I'm always asked this question, and it's very hard for me to say it. Well,
I know. It's like asking me what my favorite song is. Like, I get it. I'm
going to try my best here. I'm going to give you top 5.
Okay.
I think the greatest film ever made is The Godfather Part 2.
Oh! Go ahead. Keep going.
I think The Godfather 1 has to be in the top 5 as well. Yeah. Top class.
Yep.
So the first 2 with the Godfathers have to be in the top 5. Godfather 2, I would put as number 1.
Okay.
So then in the top 5, I'm putting in the original Exorcist.
Ooh, yeah.
I think that is the most frightening film ever made, and it's one of the most powerful films I have ever seen. Now, I understand the modern audience of today, like my daughter or my nephew or whatever, they might laugh at it now. But you have to understand when that film was released, the effect that it had. It was massive.
Yeah.
Then I have to throw another classic in there, Jaws. I think Jaws is just perfection. And then it's so hard.
So that's 4, right?
I went for a film called Taxi Driver, Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Again, you could talk about Goodfellas. You could talk about The Shawshank Redemption. I could talk about On the Waterfront, Marlon Brando. There's another film I talk about, one of the best films ever made. Just that was escaping me there now. Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now, yeah.
Unbelievable film.
Incredible film.
Incredible. So, like, when you say top 5, it's so hard to get 5 in there. I always say top 10. Top 5 is very hard. But I'm going for Godfather 2, Godfather 1, The Exorcist, Jaws, and Taxi Driver.
All right. That's incredible. That's an incredible one. We got okay. So let's call out some of the ones in the chat, and then Dal, I'm asking for yours. Okay. So we got Carl Rossi, Goodfellas and Glorious Bastard, The Patriots, Godfather Part 2, Lord of the Rings, Django Unchained. I think that I agree with about 80% of those. Those are incredible films. I think Django Unchained doesn't get talked about enough. I honestly don't think it gets talked about.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
Incredible film. Rain Man, another great shout. Spinal Tap hits me because I'm a drummer and a lead singer in a band. Like So the jokes are absolutely incredible. They're absolutely incredible. Let's see what else we got in here, guys. Put yours in the chat. Put yours in the chat. Arsenal Forever says Bad Santa. I mean, yeah, if I'm in the mood for it, I'll watch it. Right? If I'm in the mood for it. The Great Escape is another great film.
Brilliant film.
Great film. Fight Club screwed me up. Fight Club.
Yeah.
That melted my mind.
I had to watch Fight Club 3 times to get that.
Yeah, exactly. And get the foreshadowing and things like that.
Yeah.
I always look for that.
But then you have to talk about The Sixth Sense was an amazing film when it first came out. The twist at the end of that film was amazing.
Absolutely.
You have to think about, there's so many films. You can talk about so many films. Like, people ask me the greatest Western ever made. And you hear people saying The Unforgiven, The Outlaw Josie Wales, Magnificent Seven, all those films being mentioned. But for me, the greatest Western ever made is a film called Shane. I thought Shane was incredible.
That is a great movie. Incredible movie. Carl Rossi, you need to put the cervezas down. Put the
Airbud.
Put him down. Little Shop of Horrors, great film.
Yeah.
Musical is incredible too. A friend of mine just did. The director of the shows that I'm in right now did Little Shop of Horrors last year. It was incredible.
I'm going to tell you something here, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a. I'm going to give you a little movie to watch, to check it out and watch. Right? If you haven't already seen it, I want everybody watching this to check this movie out.
Okay.
Everybody knows the film Silence of the Lambs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great thing. If you ever did a film quiz, they ask you how many Hannibal Lecter films is there. And people always say Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, The Red Dragon, stuff like that. So it's 3 or 4 to mention. But actually, the very first Hannibal Lecter film ever made was a film made in 1986. A film called Manhunter.
Manhunter.
I've never seen that one.
Fucking awesome. Incredible. And you know there's a part 2 to Manhunter.
The what do you call it? Michael Mann directed it. Brian Cox is Hannibal Lecter. If nobody has seen Manhunter, check it out immediately. It's a far better film than Silence of the Lambs.
Manhunter's insane. And there's a part 2.
The Lambs is awesome. I gotta watch this weekend.
So I think that same character is in another movie called To Live and Die in L.A.
Yeah, To Live and Die in L.A. Brilliant
With
as well.
Willem Dafoe and Scott Peterson as the actor.
William Peterson, that's
right.
Yeah. Incredible.
Very underrated American actor. Yeah. No, Manhunter is, don't watch it in the dark.
No.
No, it is terrifying.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. October's around.
X is hard.
One
too.
of the best soundtracks I ever heard in a film as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Really? 1986.
Yeah. Incredible.
Okay. Well, I was years old, so.
Arsenal Forever. This is one of my favorite movies. It's not my top 5, but it's an incredible movie.
An amazing film. Trend is an amazing film.
Yeah.
I'll give you a quick little story. I had the privilege of meeting Morgan Freeman.
Oh my! What?
And I walked over to him and I went to shake his hand and I said, "Mr. Freeman, it's an honor to meet you." And I'll never forget what he said to me. He said, "Son, my name is Morgan, not Mr. Freeman. My parents christened me Morgan." What a gentleman. He was. It was a privilege to talk to that man. Gentleman. I met Angelica Houston. Not a nice woman at all.
Oh, really?
Not nice at all. Her father is Irish, and she was over here traveling around there, and I got to meet her. Not nice at all. I met Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga, absolute lovely woman. Really genuinely nice woman.
The producer of the musicals that I do met her in Las Vegas and said she's an incredible person.
There you go. She was so nice. It was like talking to just someone you know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, fingers crossed. I'm supposed to be meeting Al Pacino now in the coming weeks. So,
Have
That's
you
a
ever
big-
met?
Al Pacino. Oh, you gotta get a photo. You gotta
That's a big one. That's a big one. So fingers
Have you met
crossed.
the Gallagher brothers? Have you met Liam and Noel? Have you met Liam and Noel Gallagher?
Well, I'll get me started with those two fucking assholes.
Okay, all right. I got
Oasis,
Kyle has to shoot. I want to get your top 5, Dal.
My top 5? Okay. I had to
Yeah.
write them down. Okay.
Okay.
Number 1, Dazed and Confused.
Oh, that's a great one.
I don't know if you guys in the chat know about this movie. It's a cult classic from 1993.
If you have
It's
not
about
seen it, go
it's
watch.
the last day of school in Austin, Texas in 1977, and it's the story of these kids' lives one day. They go into school, they go to the party, and that's the end of the movie. It's got one of the greatest classic rock soundtracks, Matthew McConaughey's first movie, one of Ben Affleck's first movie. Giovanni Ribisi's sister is in it. I don't know if you guys know him. Who else? Adam Goldsmith's first movie, Tony Rapp's first movie. Some of you guys may know Adam Goldsmith from Friends. Tony Rapp was in many other shows. I know
Giovanni
TJ.
Ribisi was in Friends too.
What's that?
Giovanni Ribisi was in Friends too. He played Phoebe's brother.
Exactly. His sister's the redhead in it that drives the car.
Oh, wow.
So everyone, please go look at Dazed and Confused. It's a real piece of Americana. It's the most kind of American film of teenage life in the 70s that you can get. And it's done by the director, Richard Linklater. So Dazed and Confused is my all-time favorite. Number 2 is the British classic Snatch.
Great movie.
Snatch to me is one of the greatest movies ever made because of production value, the cast, the quotes, the editing, the way it's shot. Guy Ritchie is a fucking genius, but that movie is absolutely one of the best films I've ever seen. When it's on TV, I watch it. I don't care if it's almost all the way done. I'll watch the very last 5 minutes. Whenever that show's on, like any of these movies, if it's on TV, I'll watch it, right?
Right.
Snatch to me, I saw it in the theater when it first came out, I think in 2000. Great soundtrack as well. Brad Pitt is absolutely fantastic. I'm sure many of you have seen Snatch. It's a classic. My third is another classic, Scarface. I grew up watching Scarface when I was a kid.
Movie.
I know it's really over the top for some people, but it's actually the true story of what was going on in Miami in the 80s. If you go watch Cocaine Cowboys, which is a documentary about cocaine in Colombia in the 80s in Miami, you realize that Miami was specifically built off the cocaine trade. Almost all the buildings in downtown Miami were somehow invested with the cocaine industry. So watch Scarface because it's a real tale of what a lot of Cuban immigrants went through in the 80s as well, coming over to Florida in the 80s. It's all based off a true story. Obviously, Tony Montana's a fictional character, but those lifestyles and that movie depicts a very good lifestyle of America in the 80s in Miami during the cocaine trade. And the number 3, I got to put Goodfellas, one of by far the best gangster film ever made. It was between Godfather 1 and 2 and Goodfellas to me, and I got to go Goodfellas because I saw that before I saw Godfather, actually, which is kind of weird. I saw Godfather when it was re-released in the theaters, I think in 96 in America, and that's the first time I saw The Godfather. Blown away. But Goodfellas really just showed the real intensity of being a gangster, beating that guy up in the bar, stabbing him. I mean, that movie starts out as a really good pace. And then at the end, that movie just takes off like a rocket when he's dealing cocaine and he gets arrested. The movie just takes off, right? And so Goodfellas to me is just, I don't know. It's just the gangster film.
I can remember I wanted to be a gangster.
Yeah, exactly. Famous line. And number 5, I had to go Raising Arizona, a Coen Brothers film with Nicolas Cage, Holly Hunter. It is one of the funniest freaking films ever. Where he's getting chased by the dogs and the police with a pantyhose on his head. Yeah, it's just, you need to see The Godfather. Arizona, I don't know if you've seen that, Kyle. Classic American film.
In the stream and go watch it. What are you doing watching me? Go watch that.
Yeah, you're wasting your time here.
Wasting your time here. Go watch The Godfather.
But Raising Arizona is absolutely 100% hysterical. I don't know if you've seen it, Kyle. I'm sure TJ has.
Absolutely. Brilliant film.
It's a brilliant film. And it's, again, I like telling you guys across the pond that it's a real show of like American life, right? And Do you think it's the best Coen film? Best foreign film?
best Coen film, the Coen brothers. Do you think it was their best film?
It's close to Oh Brother Where Art Thou?
Oh Brother Where Art Thou?
Close to it.
Almost famous.
No
Was
Country for Old Men is good.
For me, Coen brothers' best film was A Simple Plan.
That's a good one too.
Brilliant movie.
With Billy Bob Thornton and Bill Paxton. Yeah, I saw that.
Brilliant
movie. I really like. I saw Raising Arizona when I was like in 8th grade. I was like 13 and thought it was the funniest movie I've ever seen. And then I have another one that everybody's gonna love. This is kind of my number 6, The Football Factory.
I still need to watch that. I'm sorry.
I just can't. In Ireland, England have seen The Football Factory, but when I first watched that movie, it really solidified like what I thought life in London would be like. Oh, and Rock and Rolla, that's another good one. But yeah, so for me, my kind of alternate would be The Football Factory. I just think for a cheap budget film, it's funny, it's violent, it's got football in it, it's got the music, it's got the casual style, and I was just like really blown away by it. Especially the value for that. It was such a cheap movie, right, Kyle?
A great football hooligan film, a British film called The Firm.
I've seen that with Gary Oldman. Yeah, I saw that.
Gary Oldman. It's an amazing film. And there's another British film I love people to watch as well. If you can ever check it out, it's a film called Nil by Mouse. N-I-L by Mouse. Nil by Mouse. It is an amazing film. Ray Winston. Gary Oldman wrote it and directed it, and it was about his youth growing up in England. Ray Winston is in it, and he's an absolute savage. Great film.
Right. Another Ray Winston one I was going to put on the list too was Sexy Beast.
Yeah, Ray Winston
again. Hardcore. Yeah. You ever seen Sexy Beast, TJ?
I've not seen that one.
Oh, yes. That is like Ben Kingsley. Remember, he played Gandhi, right?
Yeah.
He's a gangster in this, and he is freaking terrifying. It's incredible.
There's two of the best British films there. Nil by Mouse, and there's another film there that's Dre Camera put in there. Scum. Ray Winston is in that as well. An amazing film. Check the two of them out. Nil by Mouse and Scum.
Nightmare on Elm Street. I saw that as a kid. Scum I got written down.
Scum I got written down too. Yeah, I'm definitely rewatching this one. All right, can I give mine? Are we ready?
Yeah, let's
go.
Okay. Godfather 1 is my favorite. Godfather
do you think it's better than Part 2, TJ?
It was ahead of its time. That's the thing.
The woman says that she agrees with you, teacher.
What?
The woman says she agrees with you.
agrees with me?
Yes, 100%.
Yes, thank you.
But see, Part 2, I kind of go with Kyle because it's more of a story.
So validated right now. I'm not even gonna lie.
Part two.
No.
Part 2 is great. Part 2 is my third favorite. Third favorite. Second is Goodfellas. Third is 2. Fourth, I know this is gonna be like people are gonna roll their eyes at me and be like, "Wow, you're just like an action guy," but this is like one of the things. Heat.
Brilliant.
Whenever I need a movie to watch it, I'm like thinking like, "Oh man, what movie do I want to watch?" Heat. It's always Heat.
Amazing film.
Incredible film. And then fifth, sorry. People are gonna laugh at me because it's not deep. It's not deep at all. But it's just my favorites. I'm not talking about like art. Like there's no artistry behind it. It's all emotion.
Okay.
Tombstone.
Ooh.
What is it?
Tombstone. Kurt Russell.
Amazing film.
Yeah, Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer. Yeah, Shootout at the OK Corral. Like I will always watch that over and over.
And that's all based on true events. Yeah,
I'm your Uncle Barry. Like literally.
Red sashes, all that stuff.
Yeah, red sashes. Yeah, I see a red sash. I clip men wearing it. Yeah, that thing.
Val Kilmer's brilliant.
Yeah, no, Val Kilmer. Yeah, and Val Kilmer's a nice guy too. So my sister used to do travel organizations for Denver Comic-Con in Colorado, and she met Val Kilmer, and he's just the nicest guy. Like he's had a lot of health problems and things like that, but
Yeah, throat
she's
cancer.
the nicest guy. So
Right.
good.
And
good
he
to
was a
know.
Top Gun. I mean, Top Gun alone.
Top Gun. I mean, we can go in. So can we name just like movies you always go back to? How about that? Can we
Pulp
name
Fiction.
go back to
Yeah,
Pulp Fiction? Yep.
Snatch. Days of
Snatch,
Confused. Anything that's on TV regularly.
Training Day is a movie I always
Training
go
Day.
to.
Training Day. Speed.
The Green
I always
Mile.
go Speed.
Speed, yes, Speed. Die Hard, one I always go back to too.
Die Hard. Cliffhanger with Stallone. Lock Up with Stallone. I love the Rocky.
Lock Up
films.
with Stallone.
Young
Oh,
I
Guns.
don't think I've seen that one. I like Cliffhanger. Cliffhanger with Stallone was good.
Cliffhanger was
That's,
brilliant.
that's a shout for sure.
Cliffhanger was good.
If you go back and look at all the people that are in Bad Boys, the guy who played Michael Imperioli, Christopher Moltisanti, is in that movie.
Sopranos, yep.
He's the tire guy in that movie, and then he went on to be this huge star in Sopranos. So, like,
Well, let me tell you something there about Bad Boys. There's another film called Bad Boys, an older film. And it's called Bad Boys for Sean Payne in a prison.
mm,
An amazing film.
Yeah, that's hard to watch. I've seen that.
That is a hard watch.
American History X. Somebody mentioned American
Amazing
History
film.
X.
Hard watch.
Hard
Yeah.
watch too.
I've watched that once, and to be 100% honest, I have not brought myself to watch that again.
I
I've
can't.
never
I watched
seen
it
that
once,
second
and I don't want to put
I
myself
don't-
through it.
Yeah, that whole curb scene, I cannot do that.
Gorney Weaver in Aliens.
Aliens
Mm.
is, you talk about sequels, best sequels to original films. Right there, you have one. Aliens was by far better than Alien. Aliens is an absolute masterpiece.
I agree, Chris. I agree.
Die Hard.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I watched it last Christmas. Yeah.
I had to do a review on Die Hard last Christmas. Sorry, I was asked to do a review on one of the best films, a Christmas film, and I did the whole review. I published it on the paper, Die Hard, and I explained why it's a Christmas film. I said, lads, do not come back to me saying this is not a Christmas film.
Will you send me the article?
I will do, TJ.
Yeah, please
Yeah,
do.
send that. I'd like to read that too.
I need to see it. I need to read it.
Okay, Kyle, would you leave a link sometime in the Instagram where we can find your articles and stuff?
I'll do that. 100%.
Please do.
I'd like
Like
to read
this
some
is
of
a,
those.
so this I love doing these kinds of conversations because you get to find out who the people are behind all the
The
football
Arsenal
teams.
fandom, yeah.
Yeah. We're Arsenal we're insane Arsenal fans, but at the same time, we have our own interests. We have our own, like, you got to get to know the people too. And the 17 Inside are absolute legends for sticking around and hanging out for this conversation. Like, this is where you get to know the people behind the scenes here.
Absolutely.
So big up everybody. This is what I wanted this show to be. So I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate it. We got a ton of incredible people in the chat.
Gladiator.
Here's one. So Steve, The Blues Brothers was one of the movies that inspired me to be a musician.
Mm.
Jake and Elwood Blues, like when they're getting bottles thrown at them in the western bar when like they're bombing, then they start playing the theme to Rawhide. That's one of my favorite scenes in movie history.
I love that
Everybody's
movie.
just throwing the bottles and stuff. Like, that movie inspired me to be a musician.
I made a mistake on my list. I should have put Blazing Saddles because Blazing Saddles is really fun.
Well, we can just keep throwing them out as long as Kyle.
Blazing Saddles, I gotta admit, I put that above Scarface. Blazing Saddles is one of the funniest movies ever made. They make fun of everybody.
Kyle, are you being pulled away? Are you being?
The woman is after saying something here to me. She said, "Tell the lads 2 films that she's after coming up with:
Oh, yeah.
The Shining, with
Oh,
Mark
great!
Nicholson,
Oh,
great movie, and the second one, Once Upon a Time in America."
Ooh, Robert De Niro.
The Shining. So
The
the Shining.
gangster film.
So
One that doesn't get talked about a lot. Yeah.
So
Amazing film.
it'll interest your lady to know that the hotel, the Stanley Hotel, the movie, the place where that Kubrick, right?
Kubrick, yeah.
Wrote that movie. He stayed in the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. I went to college 15 minutes north of Estes Park. Okay. and I stayed at that hotel with my wife. When we first started dating, we did this. We did this trip out to Colorado and visited my old stomping grounds, and we stayed at the Stanley Hotel where he wrote that movie. And they do haunted tours and all that stuff. So
did they film it though? I thought in Timberline Lodge in Oregon.
They did film it in Oregon. They filmed it in Oregon, but Kubrick wrote it based off of his experiences at the Stanley Hotel.
So that hotel is in Timberline Lodge in Mount Hood, Oregon.
The Overlook. The Overlook.
I have something to say now to you. I'm going to ask you a
Timberline
question,
Lodge.
DJ. You might be able to put me on the right track here. Stephen King wrote that The Shining, but Kubrick directed it. But the Kubrick go to that Stanley Hotel and write the screenplay then for The Shining.
Let me look. I might be getting it wrong.
I think you're right. I think Kubrick.
I think it was Stephen King that stayed in the hotel because Kubrick directed it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Thank you for the correction. You're 100% correct.
Kubrick did the movie, but I think he wrote the screenplay too.
By Diane Johnson. The film is based off of Stephen King's novel.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, thanks for the correction. No.
So Stephen King wrote it in there, staying in there.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's even creepier.
That is even creepier.
She says that she said it, and TJ, she said to me just there a minute ago, she said, TJ sounds like a nice lad. Is he going to invite us over to Colorado and pay for our tickets as well?
I live
We gotta get monetized first, Kyle.
Hey Kyle, yeah, we got to get monetized first, and I'm having trouble getting up to 350. So make sure you're subbing everybody.
If she wants to sell,
Like,
that'll help.
Yeah, tell your lady to sub to me right now.
I will.
Or just get closer to the airport.
No, I live in Kansas City, but I'm based like I was born in Colorado. I grew up in Littleton, Colorado. So that's where I hit my comeuppance, and then I moved out to Kansas City about 12 years ago.
Littleton, Colorado. Really?
Yes.
That's where
I went to
1999
Columbine
was.
High School.
You went to Columbine High School.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So okay. So I trust everybody in the chat. This is cool. This is not me like trauma dumping or anything like that. But my sister was there.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So we went through all of that.
Some stuff.
Yeah, we went through some stuff. So yeah, no, I went to Columbine, and it was just a normal high school experience. You know, with a lot of cameras on it at the same time.
Because your sister's older than you.
Yeah, she's 5 years older than me.
5 years.
She was a freshman when that happened, and
Damn,
but here's the thing though, is that she's the reason I am who I am today though. That's like my sister is probably one of the most incredible human beings I've ever met. She was in show choir. I wanted to be in show choir. She did music. I wanted to do music. Like she is the way she lived her life and lives her life is absolutely incredible. She's one of the best people I know. So yeah, I don't mind sharing that. I'm sure she wouldn't mind sharing that. She's an incredible person, and honestly, the community, the way we rose out of that is inspiring. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm not trying to get into politics. Unfortunately, it's happening in the United States. It's a big problem. So hopefully it gets fixed. So yeah, no, and big up to everybody in the chat. Don't worry about it. It's not a thing. It's not a big thing. So
there's another film for you. Things are first of all, big up to your man for that.
Big up. Oh, thanks for letting me share that, guys. Thanks for letting me share that.
Secondly, coming from American dudes, and mention a film that might hit the old heart there as well. A magnificent film about the Chicago firefighters. Backdraft.
Oh, Backdraft. Yeah.
What a movie.
Did Ron Howard direct that? Didn't Ron Howard make that?
Ron Howard made that.
Yeah.
Kurt Wilson was.
I didn't know Ron Howard made it though.
Yeah. I think he wrote it or directed it. Yeah.
Oh, Ron Howard.
I didn't know that he directed Backdraft.
He directed that film, Ron Howard.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
I didn't know.
So, Kyle, what's your favorite M. Night Shyamalan film? I know he's made some good ones and some bad ones and some in between.
He's a director that frustrates me because he has the potential of being a great director. Like he made some great movies and then he made some terrible films. Right. The best film that he ever made was The Sixth Sense. An amazing film, all-time classic. That ending to that film was absolutely brilliant. I remember going to see that the premiere. That the cinema was packed, and I remember those last few minutes there wasn't a word said in the cinema. And when the film ended, everybody just sat there. Nobody could believe what they were after seeing. Yeah. I think Unbreakable was also a brilliant movie.
Great film.
Brilliant movie. Both.
I did you like Split? Did you like any of the anything else that came from that?
I thought it was all right.
Me and my wife, that was our first date movie. Is we went and saw Split.
Nice. I think Signs is really good. I always thought Signs was brilliant too. Yeah. Signs, and what was the first one again? What's the first one? Yeah, those two I think are his best.
Unbreakable was very good as well.
And Unbreakable, yeah, definitely, but yeah.
But he's a director. He went down and made some terrible The Happening.
Yeah.
What was that all about?
The Happening. That was my wife and I went to see. That was stupid. The trees took revenge on the people or something.
Yeah, terrible films.
Dumb.
Yeah, no. Make sure you're smashing the likes up, everybody. Make sure you're subbing to me, Oregon Gooner, and Kyle Walsh Gunner. Everybody, we got 14 inside. Make sure you're smashing those.
As a critic, what do you think of like the Marvel franchise?
Good question. What I think of the Marvel franchise is, I think it's after destroying film as we know it. Film for me these days is all based on too much special effects, very thin characters, very lightweight characters, and storylines are kind of all the same. And what we're looking at is the same kind of thing the whole time. The Marvel franchise, don't get me wrong, there's a few entries that are really, really good, really strong. But more so, there's entries there than like the last phase of the Marvel universe. Horrific films. The Ant-Man Part 3 was terrible. The Thor film, terrible. Now I went to see what's this? I went to see. I'm lucky. I'll tell you a quick one. I'm very lucky at the moment because my daughter is now 13, and if you think I'm bad when it comes to films, she's obsessed altogether. So what she's doing now, she's coming to the cinema to see all these films with me. Instead of me bringing her to see all these cartoons, now I'm bringing her to films with me that I like. So she's clearing all these Marvel films with me. So I'm disappointed with the Marvel. And it's just that there's too many TV shows being streamed on Disney Plus as well. So you're trying to, you don't know where you are with all these characters. You know, it's hard to follow it all.
Right.
Too much money but they say they're making so much money from it. But from me, as the film industry, yes, they're making big money, but when is enough, like, you know what I mean? Come up with something original. I went to see the new Indiana Jones film there Wednesday night.
Oh, yeah?
Again, why make this film? Why?
Well, part of it, too, because I think, like, you know, us being in our upper 40s, there's not really any real movie stars anymore, you know? We see a lot of young kids coming from Disney and kids coming from different kids shows that become actors and actresses, and I can kind of, you know, think of some of those movies. I know in the chat you can think of some, you know, there's a pretty boy and a young girl. Who the hell are they? Like, I don't, you know, like there's a trilogy that's like a space one. I can't think of the name of it. You help me out here. Resurrection or something like that. It's a trilogy. And the soundtrack's all poppy. It's maybe it didn't even get overseas. I don't know. Somebody in the chat can help me. I'd have to look it up.
But just me there. No, maybe it's not bad. I just didn't look at it. But
you're right.
Like saying, where's the movie stars up today? There is no movie stars. The last movies, in my opinion, I was just saying that Clint Eastwood is making another film. The man is 92 years of age.
How?
Yeah. He says this is his last film, he said. And he's 92.
Yeah. And
in my opinion, the last real movie star in the world today is Tom Cruise.
Mm.
I cannot wait to see the new Mission Impossible film.
Right.
Yeah. Tom Cruise is a little
whack job. Both. He is absolutely brilliant at what he does.
He's great. He's a great actor. He's a great
Good.
actor. But
Right.
that's where it stops for me. But
Tom Cruise, though, does he really get the pull though of like the younger generation anymore?
Oh,
like,
did you Top Gun 2? Oh my god!
No, wife
Gun
wants to
2
watch
was
it.
amazing.
Pass. I mean,
It was
Tom
a
Cruise-
trip.
see, I think some of like the newer generation then to me is like actors like Irish actor Cillian Murphy, like Peaky Blinders. And
Oh, Killian Murphy.
he's a great just character actor, right? He was in Sandman and Batman, and he's in another movie I think coming out here with Oppenheimer, right?
Oppenheimer, looking so
Yeah.
hard.
I'm
I
really
mean, I think he's like a real classic type actor of that ilk, and I think more actors like that need to come through, be in the scene. I don't, Tom Holland, okay, he's Spider-Man. He did a war movie that was okay, I think. Footloose is fantastic. So it's like the older actors, I mean, you could even say like, Tom Cruise for sure. And if Clint Eastwood's doing another film, you can put him on that list as well as kind of like the old school actors, and it kind of there's that middle gap too, where you have like Gerard Butler, that kind of middle era, where like who else was popular during that time? John Cena tried to be an actor.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of went in a real weird direction in after the 2010s a bit,
No, it started before that. It was The Rock. The Rock, I think.
The Rock.
It's
like influencers are starting to become movie stars.
Yeah.
They were just sort of like athlete. Rock kind of was to an athlete to kind of a viral star to a movie star, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
one of my favorites of all time. One of my favorite WWE of all time. Next to Richie.
Well, unfortunately, films have changed throughout the years. So therefore, the old star, they're finished. Like the great actors of the past, you never see a Paul Newman. You'll never see a Gene Hackman, Sidney Poitier. Yeah, I know you have Denzel Washington, but he's coming. He's almost 70 years of age now.
Right.
All those great actors. You never Jack Nicholson back in his prime. Dustin Hoffman. You don't see lads like that coming through anymore.
And I think we get some of that in like Michael B. Jordan, Cillian Murphy, some of those younger actors. But I think even there's a gap right between there. There really is a gap of kind of like movies really kind of went to shit for a while. The Marvel thing was ruling everything because it was all fantasy and CGI. And I think now we're kind of getting back on track of making real in-depth films. One of them I definitely want to see is Bill Knightley called Living.
Yeah.
I said that's supposed to be a great film. Now I think it's on Netflix. But a lot of these films I think you can't find unless you subscribe to streaming services, right?
Yeah.
They're not doing Hollywood big production theater films as much as they obviously did in the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s. And I think you also have the rise, of course, of influencers. People want to watch TJ and Dow, do YouTube. Well, you have YouTube. People watch it constantly, right? Instead of going to the movie theater, they'll just watch something on YouTube, right? They'll watch their favorite YouTubers, TJ and Dow, and they went go to a movie to see, an older actor that they may not know. Like there's some probably maybe people in the chat. Dustin Hoffman, who the hell is that?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh man. By the way, we're at 25 likes. Let's get it up to 30. Let's go.
I gotta get going, guys. It's
you gotta go. Okay. All right. Well, then we'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up then because this has been an incredible stream. We've been going for an hour and a half, and it is getting late out there in the UK. So we'll let everybody go.
Friday. Carl Rossi's
Friday night. Yeah, Carl Rossi is fully in the bag now. It's over. We've had a consistent stream of 15 people, anywhere from 10 to 15 people. So again, thank you all for supporting the channel. It's been absolutely incredible. It's been an incredible ride for 17 episodes. Big up everybody in the chat. Thank you for all your support. It's been incredible. Dow, let's go ahead and start taking us out, my man.
Thank you, everyone in the chat. Shout out to my man Volcano Kyle Walsh. Thank you for joining us, bro. We're going to get you on many more times, talk a little more football. Can't wait for the beginning of the season. For the first couple of games when you absolutely explode on Arteta and Odegaard, it's going to be fantastic.
And I will explode.
And big up everyone in the chat. Check out Strasburg Steve, Long-Haired Yeti. I know your favorite movies, Debbie Does Dallas. It used to be mine when I was 12 as well. Mama Flossie, Drew. Somebody just popped in here from Everton. Big up to the Everton fan. Richo, thank you. Rest in peace, Alan Arkin. Great movie. Mrs. Sunshine or something like that. And in another movie, a TV show in the 70s or 80s. But anyway, thanks, TJ. Check me out, Oregon Good on YouTube. IG's Infamous Dow. We got Rice. We got Havertz. We just need to get that trophy. Thank you all for watching. I'm done.
Kyle Walsh, shout yourself out, my man.
Yeah, you catch me on Kyle Walsh Gunner. I will be putting up a few videos now. I was very busy there lately, but I will put up a few videos about the transfers, about what I think, what I want, what I expect. And if they don't succeed this season, heads will roll. But big up to you, lad, TJ Dale, for having me on your show. Brilliant. I love talking movies. I am thinking about doing a YouTube channel about me films, film reactions, straight out of cinema, stuff like that. So people have been saying to me that I should do it. So I've all this knowledge of me hate of film, and I need to get it out of my system because it's flooded my mind here. So big up to you all, lads. It's always a pleasure to be on the shows. And you're all legends. And I am going over here now to do some groveling to this beautiful woman of mine. And
I'm going to go watch a movie.
I hope I can bring a smile back to her face here because she's showing me daggers here. So
big up to the lady on Kyle's right. That's all I'm going to say. Big up to the lady on Kyle's right.
Thank you just mentioned Kyle right behind your head there.
Thanks for letting us loan him out here real quick.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, brother.
Thanks,
Okay.
lads. Talk to you later.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Last couple of shout outs. Thanks everybody first for letting me get a little emotional there and sharing some stuff that was not something I was expecting to do, but I appreciate the support. And yeah, it's just it's part of sharing and getting to know people on here. It's just one of those things, right? So big up everybody in the chat. All right. Incredible stream. This has easily been one of my favorite American Idiots episodes. Dal, like literally, when I thought about doing this show back in March, I did not think it would get where it has gotten to, let alone where I think it's going. So, thank you for being my my co-pilot throughout this entire thing. It's gonna be so much fun. More to come, right?
Absolutely.
So big up everybody in the chat. All right. So reminder. Next week, we have Flawless from Sarcasm City TV coming on, 9 p.m. UK time, same place. And then this Sunday, we have the U.S. versus Trinidad and Tobago watch along with Will Stewart from Tottenham away. That'll be at midnight, Sunday going into Monday. So I don't have work the next day, so I'm going all night. And then we have the week after. So July 14th, we're looking to get Diesel on. He is now back on YouTube, and we want to get him back on and on to the American Idiot Show. He's somebody that we've been seeking after for what, like 2 months now. Like we've been wanting Diesel on for a while. You got Gunner coming on again. We'll see. We'll see.
Episode 20 is right around the corner. Milestone episode. Episode 10 was pretty.
Episode 10 was a pretty good one. Yeah, we'll reach out to Lee and we'll see, but he's a busy guy, so we'll see if he wants to come on again. But yeah, Lee's an absolute gem. All right, so big up everybody in the chat.
Everybody, thank you.
Have a great weekend. Happy 4th of July to all the Americans out there, and we are out.